6:30. The date is Monday, August the 8th, 2016, and I call to order this meeting of the Goose Creek CISD Board of Trustees. Before we get started this evening, I'd like to remind everyone in attendance that this meeting is being recorded through video and audio technology, and also at this time, I ask everyone please silence or turn off all electronic devices. Thank you very much. Ms. Woods, was this meeting properly posted?
Yes.
And do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Duarte?
President Richard, school board members, Mr. O'Brien, the opening exercises for the August 8th, 2016 board meeting will begin with the prayer led by Howard Sampson. Everyone, please rise.
Would everyone bow their heads, please? Please. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day, Father. We thank you for this day that we are here as a board, as a school district, and all of our kids and parents that are here, Father. Thank you for all of your blessings that you bestowed upon us each and every day. Father, let us be thankful that we are in a free country and that we have great education. Father, thank you for all these things. In Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The pledges will be led by Janice Coffey.
Please join me in the pledge to the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. We would like to begin our recognitions tonight by congratulating Goose Creek CISD on the high-quality implementation of the Fast Forward program through Scientific Learning Corporation, receiving consistently positive student results which have led to our being chosen as a national reference site. We will be the second district in the state of Texas afforded this distinction. Tom Kelchner, Director of Special Education, will come up to the podium to address the group.
Thank you, Dr. Duarte. Mr. Richard, trustees, Mr. O'Brien, thank you for the opportunity to recognize a great program that has been most beneficial to our students. The Fast Forward program is a cognitive development program that assists students with progressing in reading skills. Most important about our program is that our data indicates that we've had a median 1.2 years of growth in reading skills for the students who have gone through the Fast Forward reading program. This great progress for our students, and obviously a critical skill area, is the result of a great deal of work on our campuses and through our department leadership. With this designation site, the National Reference Site designation, we will be given the opportunity not only to have additional resources and materials come from scientific learning, but we'll also be showcasing several of our highest performing programs. Those programs and those schools that have been designated as showcase sites because of consistently high implementation are San Jacinto Elementary School, and Ms. McAdam, would you stand to be recognized? It's with your leadership, principals, that this happens. Baytown Junior with Matt Bollinger. And Robert E. Lee High School is our high school showcase site with Dr. Joseph Farnsworth. So principals, thank you for being here. We thank you for your leadership in the program. We have a cadre of teachers and paraprofessionals that we have trained to implement the program on the campuses. So if we have Fast Forward coaches here in the audience this evening, would you stand to be recognized? I know I saw several back there. And before I turn this over to our scientific learning representatives for the formal presentation of a banner and plaque, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege and thank Sarah Chase, who has been our special education coordinator, and she has been specifically responsible for the implementation of this program over the last several years. Ms. Chase after serving our district and our community for 33 years. We're very, very, very proud to say that she is now the new Director of Special Education in New Caney ISD. It's taken a great team. We're very proud of this designation. It just means that we're taking a great program and being able to move it further for the benefit of our children. I'd like to introduce Ms. Corey Arms and Ms. Colleen Hess from Scientific Learning Incorporated to make the formal presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Kelchner. Well, I would like to thank you as a district for all that you do for your students, and have a special recognition for the schools and the principals, the coaches and the teachers who have been using Fast Forward so well for your students. I'm biased. I love the program. I used it in my school district, and I've seen what it can do for students, and I'm thrilled that Goose Creek is seeing the same things for their students, for your students as well. So again, thank you, principals, coaches, for all that you do. And so I will.
Could we have the principals and coaches come on up for the picture as well?
We have a plaque and a banner. So I will give you the thank you. You would take that. Colin, you want to the banner will do it.
Oh, the banner's going to help.
Each year, more than 500,000 students participate in History Day. Students will choose a historical topic related to the annual theme and then conduct primary and secondary research. They will look through libraries, archives, and museums, conduct oral history interviews, and visit historic sites. After they have analyzed and interpreted their sources and have drawn a conclusion about the significance of their topic, they will then be able to present their work in one of 5 ways: as a paper, an exhibit, a performance, a documentary, or a website. Goose Creek had several students place at the state level as well as the national level. Faith Longorio, Social Studies Coordinator, will recognize our students.
Members of the board and the community, it is a great honor. All of these students who are going to be recognized today competed at state or at nationals. Lots of hard work goes into this, and I'm very proud to say we have quite a few students that have been to state and nationals multiple times in a row, and it's just a wonderful program to teach them how to do research and to appreciate history. Our first place at nationals for junior historical paper wasn't able to be here tonight, but I wanted to recognize him. His name is Benjamin Warford Johnson. He was a 7th grader. He's going to be an 8th grader. His paper was published in the Texas Tribune, so it is an outstanding achievement for a junior high school student. Second place at nationals, Priscilla Garcia and Danielle Garcia, outstanding young ladies. Their entry was World War II Women Air Force Service Pilots, exchanging traditional roles, exploring military aviation, and encountering discrimination. They are both going to be sophomores this year at Ross S. Sterling, and their sponsor was Stephanie Cottle. Third place, senior historical paper is Tomas de la Rosa. His paper was over an alien race that should be segregated socially, Mendez versus Westminster. Tomas also attends Rossa Sterling High School, and his teacher was Donna Britt. Third place at Nationals. This next pair, this first time they've paired together, but both of them are experts when it comes to going to nationals. They've been going for several years. Matthew Broussard and Kylie Fanning did a senior group documentary this past year. Their entry was entitled Confederation to Nation. Kylie graduated from Ross S. Sterling High School. Her sponsor was Michael Fanning. Matthew just graduated from Impact Early College High School. His sponsor was Steve Custer. They also received the special award, the George Washington Leadership and History Award, and Matthew Broussard also received an individual legacy award at Nationals. Javi Nguyen competed at Nationals in senior individual exhibit. Her sponsor is Stephanie Cottle. She attends Ross S. Sterling High School, and her exhibit was Nikola Tesla, Altering a New Era. We had several students who placed at Texas History Day. Although they didn't get to promote to nationals, they did an outstanding job. And this one particularly, I'm ready for her to go next year. Yes. Okay. Third place, junior individual performance, is Grace Muller. Her entry was WASP, Exploring the Air, Encountering Obstacles, and Exchanging Roles. She attends Cedar Bayou Junior School, and her teacher was Ashley Thurgood. And she received a special award as well. Her special award was the Jane McCallum Women in Texas History Award. Okay, fourth place junior individual website was Anushka Ranjan. Her entry was the Silk Road, a trade and cultural exchange. She attends Highlands Junior School, and her teacher was Adrian Freeman. Okay, junior the next following students, they didn't place first through fourth, but they did receive distinguished achievement. Junior individual documentary, Jacob Kingsmill. His entry was The Christmas Truce, Exploring Peace, Exchanging Gifts, and Encountering Humanity. He attends Highland Junior School, and his teacher was Michelle Jones. Senior group performance from Robert E. Lee High School, Annalise Lopez, Joshua Rice, and Esmeralda Herrera. Their entry, Pop Goes the World, and their teacher is their theater arts teacher, Rosemary Calico Hobson. Okay, senior individual exhibit, Brianne Schroll. She attends Goose Creek Memorial High School. Her sponsor is Stephanie Schroll. Nice proud mama right there. And her entry was Misty Copeland, Dancing into History. Okay. The following students all did promote, win at regionals and compete at the Texas History Day competition. Junior group documentary, Evelyn Longorio and Justin Molina. Their entry was Prosthetics, Exploring Technology and Encountering Challenges. They attend Gentry Junior School, and their teacher was Tara Fountain. We also have a second group documentary, Kyle Laird and Daniel Gonzalez. Their entry, Smallpox, the Traveling Monster. They attended Baytown Junior School, and their teacher was Vicky Ballio. Alan Kosep also participated in junior individual performance. His entry, Foreign Colonization in the Philippines, its effect on the cultures and customs of the Filipinos. He attends Gentry Junior School, and his teacher was Tony Rosenbaum. Junior group performance, Abby Patterson, Sam Pierce, and Dana Stein. Entry was entitled One Day on a Bus Can Change the World. They attend Baytown Junior School, and their teacher was John Laurence. Okay, junior group performance, Madeline Broussard and Brandon Broussard. Their entry, Acadian Redemption. They attend Gentry Junior School, and their teacher was Allison Liner. Junior group exhibit, Hector Alvarez, Johanna Chavez, and Ruth Patino. Their entry was Jonas Salk and the polio vaccine. They attended Horace Mann Junior School last year, and their teacher was Amy Liggett. That's my place. Junior individual website, Banu Sharma. His teacher, Adam Clemens, he is a student at Highlands Junior School. His entry was entitled, We Want Liberty, Not Loyalty, Mahatma Gandhi's Nonviolence Movement. Junior group website, Jairo Anson, Jaden Kulkarni, Jalen Thomas, and Lawrence Bernard. Entry, the International Space Station. They attended Highlands Junior School, and their sponsor was Michelle Jones. Senior historical paper, Shaylee Yadav. Her entry was entitled The Silk Road, A Path Woven into History. She attends Goose Creek Memorial High School, and her teacher was Stephanie Schroll. You're the only one in your group. Senior group documentary, Arushi Shukla, Abigail de Guzman, and Nicholas Herrera. Their entry was entitled Apollo 13, A Successful Future. They attend Ross S. Sterling High School, and their sponsor was Stephanie Cottle. Okay. Senior group website, Athena Genobus and Aaron Oiano. Their entry was entitled The Silk Road, Ancient Trading Route in the Eurasian Continent. They attend Goose Creek Memorial High School, and their teacher was Stephanie Schroll. proud of all these guys and look forward to bringing them back next year. Thank you so much for your time.
Before you leave, parents, before you leave, we'd like to give a round of applause to all parents of these students. If you are a parent of one of these History Fair placers and winners, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you so much. Great job, guys, and do it again next year.
Your vision blurry? Basketball.
Next item on the agenda is citizens' participation. Ms. Garcia, do we have any citizens that have signed up to speak tonight? Okay. Having none, we'll move on to item number 4, approval of minutes from the July 26, 2016 regular board meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from the July 25th, 2016 regular board meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Coffey, a second from Mr. Laredo to approve the July 26, 2016 regular board meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor of approval, please raise your right hand. Any against? Any abstain? Motion passes 5-4, 0 against, 1 abstention, and 1 absent tonight. Okay. Moving on to discussion items. Mr. O'Brien.
Okay, for the superintendent's report this evening, we have a group presenting on Sterling High School Cafeteria Library CTE Expansion Project Design Development from our facilities management team. Ms. Garcia, Mr. Price, Mr. Foxworth will be joining them. I believe they have someone from our program management, LAN, here as well. Yeah, Kirk from the architectural firm.
Mr. Gant.
Ms. Garcia, if you'll get us started.
Sure. Good evening, Board of Trustees. We're here to talk to you about Sterling High School Cafeteria Library CTE expansion. And at this point, we are at the design development phase. The last design that you saw was the schematic phase. And so we're here to talk to you about design development. Kirk, I'm going to go through the slides if you want to.
Very good. I'll weigh in whenever anyone has any questions, or I'll just represent part of the building.
Mr. Price, you, Mr. Foxworth as well, just weigh in whenever it's an item you
Just
work
really
on.
quickly, I want to cover the scope again. And so we're talking about the cafeteria, the new cafeteria and kitchen, library renovations, culinary arts renovations, CTE and MJ ROTC renovations, and various facility condition assessment items. So all of these encompass this project. The first slide that you have here is the proposed cafeteria location. So what you see here is not anything different. Pretty much the entire presentation is what you saw last time. We've made some minor adjustments and revisions based on some of your comments from last time. And the cafeteria is still located in the same location. This is just a close-up. I think some of the revisions that were made here, Kirk, was just some parking restriping.
Well, basically, we're just reconfiguring the parking areas. Obviously, we're losing some parking to locate the building in this area, and we're just reconfiguring the parking, as you can see here, directly east of the building at this point, is basically all this slide represents.
Here's a close-up of the cafeteria. I think at this point we have met with some district food services personnel, and some adjustments were made to the layout of the kitchen and the serving areas. And per your request last time, there was a concern about not having sufficient doors, and so 2 sets of additional doors were added.
We've added 2 sets of doors into the entry and widened the entry, is what we've done, to where it's a much wider element, so we have a much larger area to gather and for exit entrance into the building. So we refined that and made it much, much bigger. per your request. This is the elevation looking west, if you will. You see the three sets of doors there enter into the cafeteria. This elevation it's set. We'll probably never see it in this perspective because it's so close to the existing building, but we at least put a little element of design into the entrance and in the corner of the building to where you can at least have a little aesthetic to the building at that point. But the rest of it is just back house, all masonry and delivery and things of that type on this side. Now, next elevation. This is actually the front of the building that'll face the back of the east annex. So you'll have a bit of an aesthetic to this. And this is where we'll have the outdoor seating. It has the element you see in the darker blue, the lower part up above the windows and the doors you see there is all sunscreen that'll protect those doors and windows from the southern facade sun. And then also on the left you see the exact same element that looks exactly like the other. It's just turning the corner, if you will, from the previous elevation.
I think there were some minor revisions also done to the culinary arts lab based on some food services comments. And can you talk a little bit about the
Yes.
revisions in the library?
Basically, what we're doing is we're going into the old kitchen with culinary arts, and we're taking over the old kitchen. So we're going to maintain just about every element of it. You know, freezer, walk-in cooler, dishwash. The one thing that we are going to completely redo is what's called the hot line, all the food line, where all of your cooking and your stove and your open cooking and everything occurs. We need to remove all the existing. We're going to have a new hood, new exhaust hood to go above all that. So we're going to shove all that to the outside wall into a much cleaner configuration, and then we're going to have more of instructional type space, what is in the middle of the cafeteria concurrently. And we'll open that up to where you have all just large islands, large stainless steel tables, if you will, that sit in the middle of the room for instructional areas. That's basically it. And then we have a small classroom that seats about 30.
I think so.
Right? Wasn't that a number? 30 or 32, I believe, for the small classroom you see down in this area. But mainly we're taking just the existing areas and repurposing them for the new culinary arts area.
And the library's had a few modifications from the last time as well.
What we really did with the library is we took, initially you see where it says stacked directly above the, I'm trying to read what we've written there.
Here.
The research labs are the bottom two are what I'm looking at. You've got research labs that are down at the bottom there, and across there. They were stacked one above the other at this point, but due to the circulation and the existing ADA ramp that goes down, because we have a lowered area in this library, so we need to get down to that. So we just pushed the research labs, which are actually computer labs, by the way, to the lower portion of the existing library. And this opened things up and made it work much better. And the librarian, or actually I believe everyone has been on board with this revision, correct? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think there was input from the outgoing librarian and the incoming librarian, as well as Mr. Foxworth.
I think what we did was like a plan A, B, and C, and sent this out to everybody, and everyone agreed to this one. So, and me as well. So it worked. It works much better than what we had before.
I think this slide here is pretty much the same thing that you saw last time. It's just a lot of finishes that are going to be renovated, and the only major work I think that's going on here is right in the central area where the construction science, health science, and the welding lab areas. Everything else is a lot of finish work that needs to be updated.
Basically, what Brenda said is correct. That basically what we're doing in here, we're just removing a few walls, providing a couple of other new walls, and then just new finishes, new floor finishes, new wall finishes, new ceilings, things of that type. Just basically putting a new fresh coat on it.
So this is a report that I think you may be familiar with. I think you get this maybe once a week, I believe.
Yes.
So I'd like to point out here just overall where we're at with the bond at the moment. We're at about a surplus of $2 million. And this project has been calculated into that amount as well. And our last slide here, these numbers are the same exact numbers that you saw last time, where our total project cost estimate at this time is 14.8. It's the same amount that was approved in the schematic design phase. So please let us know if you have any questions.
Very good. I appreciate it. I know y'all put countless hours into developing the design of it a little bit further. Mr. Foxworth, have you had a chance to review and look over these, and you think it's feasible and a workable solution for the needed extra space for the cafeteria for Sterling High School?
Yes, sir. I think it's going to be a great addition. I think kids and teachers will be real proud of it, and I think it'll be very functional. Yeah.
Is there any questions from the board? I have a couple, but I'll let you guys go first.
Go back to the slide where the welding, this part. Where, I wasn't here the last meeting, but where is this located?
This is, I can point it out in the overall site plan here. This is that top right building up here.
The old?
Yes, sir. In the northeast corner of the site.
Right.
Actually, an existing welding lab, by the way, that we're just
exactly
right. All of it's existing.
We're going to repurpose it as another welding lab, and utilize the existing cubicles and just rework them a bit, and then provide. Of course, everything would be new equipment inside of there to work. But I think the majority of what we're doing in that space is removing a lot of the metal trade equipment that exists currently in the middle of the space, so we can just open it for instructional area. So it is an existing welding lab currently.
Yeah, I see that you had added the extra doors for the cafeteria.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But we still gonna have a crosswalk like for going.
Yes, sir. We do have a covered walkway, an aluminum covered walkway that's going to connect from point A to point B.
You can see it a little bit on this slide. It's just noted here to connect across to the existing canopy on the east side.
So the service drive will not facilitate any of the parking. In other words, there won't be cars coming in and out of that.
All of the services provided to this building,
Yeah.
it will be around the back of the building here.
Correct.
So it'll use the existing drive that's back here. It won't interfere with this parking area. No, sir.
At all. And another one of the major caveats of this design and location here is we had to have maintain the band practice area in that parking lot. And that still exists, by the way. We did maintain that.
For the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So all the cars that were coming in that parking lot will go back out to
Correct.
the south?
Correct.
Okay.
They'll exit back out, and you can see the new parking area that you are required to loop back to the east driveway.
That was just my curiosity.
Yes, sir.
You're going to have the open crossway. Make sure.
We're absolutely keeping as much traffic away from that portion of the building as possible of the connection.
Okay.
Mr. Sampson, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. First off, Ms. Garcia, if you'd go back to the library renovation and the culinary arts. I want to tell you, I am impressed with the changes to the library as a former principal. This design is much more amenable to library circulation, and I applaud y'all for going back and making that change, because when I saw the research labs back to back, it just threw me off.
Sure.
Mr. Gant, question.
Yes,
Will
sir.
we still have the window opening into looking into the research labs?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to maintain all that existing glass.
Okay. Next question, culinary arts. Is this something that's going to be at the tail end of the project? Because this can't start until we open the new
You are
cafeteria.
correct. It'll have to be phased after.
So, and we're looking maybe a year once we start
Correct.
to get the new cafeteria open?
Yes.
Correct? So then we would then go to the repurpose of the cafeteria. So this project's going to drag on for, drag's not a good thing, but going to take a good 18 months, I would
Yes.
think, at least.
One of the things we were discussing in our meeting last week was the fact that once we unmobilize or mobilize a new cafeteria, it'll be available to us, so we won't really have to wait until summer.
Okay.
But that was one of our questions about how much noise are we going to make, though. But I think we can contain the noise without a problem.
Good.
But in addition, we are really doing very minimal revisions to that area anyway, so it should be a pretty quick turnover.
Okay. And thank you for the extra set of doors. I think that's going to go for, in terms of entry and exit, it's going to be much more efficient. And then the last question for Mr. Mr. Gant, because I know you had something to do with the East Annex. Is the brick coloring going to match the East Annex or the main building?
Exactly, the East Annex,
Annex.
because that brick is still available. The
It's
brick
still
on the
available.
old building is
You mean
1962.
that 40-year-old brick's not available anymore?
We can't get that, but strangely enough, we can get the brick that's on the building in front of us. It's a locally, it's made in Texas, so it is locally produced and all that. So we do have the exact existing brick.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
One more thing. On the cost factor, we look like we stayed at 14 million.
Yes, sir. 14.8.
Are we going to get the board increments of where we are for as with the 14 million? In other words, you know, I don't want to be halfway through the project and then all of a sudden you say, well, by the way,
Well, that is our current cost estimate. We're at 14.8.
Yeah.
And that was the same amount that was back in schematic design. I believe it was in March earlier this year.
Yes, that number hasn't changed.
And it did, and we have verified that through our CM at risk in this project at Bartlett Cock. So we have been through that process with our contractor as well. And these numbers we have verified with them.
So we
We
will
foresee
get
going-
something showing the monthly, quarterly, whatever it may be, of what we've spent so far out of the 14 million.
You would like a status report on the actual budget?
Yes,
We can do that for you.
because
Not a problem.
you know, if it begins to go over budget, then I think we need to figure a way to get it back.
Well, but we
They
haven't-
issue a gross maximum price, so your GMP keeps you in line. There won't be, it won't go over
Correct.
that amount.
Yeah,
I'll
but
put it out to contractor.
that's apples and oranges because when gross maximum, you know, on a lot of projects, and we come up 3 million, 5 million over, and then we sitting there saying, okay, how did we get to this point? The only thing I'm saying, give us more information as you go along so we can know.
I believe what Mr. O'Brien's referencing is a guaranteed maximum price. That means we have an actual contract with the contractor for that amount.
Guaranteed.
That's what we're finalizing right now.
So-
And yes, sir, we will bring that to you before we finalize that number.
And I think what Mr. Sampson's referring to is with the price does sometimes fluctuate early in the project when you're still defining the scope.
Correct.
Once the scope's out, once the GMP's done, it's final. It can't go more than that. With a CMAR, with a CM at risk, it can actually come in under that because we can, you know, ask for cost savings as we go along through the project. But with a gross maximum price, it should never exceed that by contract, by law.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't go. Yes, sir.
Anything else? Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Great job. Nice presentation. All right, moving on to
Kurt.
Thank you.
number 6, action item A.
Following the action of the superintendent's report, consideration and possible action to approve the design development phase as submitted by Bush Gant Krezak Architects LLP for the renovations in kitchen and cafeteria additions to Ross S. Sterling High School.
I move that we approve this design development phase.
Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion from Ms. Coffey, a second by Ms. Woods to approve the design development phase as submitted tonight.
So for discussion, Ms. Garcia, Kirk, do you have an estimated time for final design? Is that a timeline? Do we have that timeline or?
I believe we're currently scheduled to have construction documents completed by the end of September at this point. Is what I believe. I would have to review that with my staff, but I know it's no further than that. I'll say that.
Okay, and then that'll come back to the Board of Trustees for approval of the final design, and then it'll be eligible to go out for bid.
Yes, sir. I will say this, that at our last meeting between everyone and all parties and our CM at risk, I think everyone promised not to make any more changes.
Okay.
So we can get finished with the drawings and they can begin work to meet with their schedules. So right now, I do know it is September, but I think it's like the latter, third week of September right now. Is what I have.
Just for clarification, we already have the contract with the contractor.
Correct.
So
Very
that's-
good.
That's
Yes.
all right.
Okay, very good.
That's in place. We're ready to move with that.
Very good.
Any discussion? Okay, having no discussion, we have a motion on the, and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion, Mr. Laredo, did your hand go? Okay. That motion passes 6 for, 0 against, 1 absent. Okay, item B.
Consideration of consent agenda. Number 1, resolution formally adopting the 39th Amendment of the Goose Creek CISD Money Purchase Pension Plan. Number 2, waiving up to 3 staff development days and up to 5 early release days for the 2016-17, 2017-18, 2018 and 2019 school years, and pre-kindergarten waiver of 210-minute school day for the 2016-17 school year. Number 3, 2016-17 Communities and Schools of Baytown Memorandum of Agreement. Number 4, Memorandum of Understanding regarding High Point Alternative Education Program. Number 5, Memorandum of Understanding with Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program, JJAP. Number 6, contract with Rabba Kistner Consultants Incorporated to perform geotechnical engineering services for future projects at various district facilities. Number 7, RFQ evaluation rankings and selection of, delegate authority to, superintendent or designee to negotiate and to approve the contract with PBK Architects Incorporated to perform the design and administrate construction of facility condition assessment, FCA renovations, repairs, and upgrades at all district-wide facilities. Number 8, selection of and contract with an architectural firm, Stantec Architecture, Inc., to perform the design and to administrate construction of the Agri-Science Center expansion and renovation. Number 9, award of request for proposal, RFP, for deaf education interpreting services. Number 10, first extension of request for proposals, RFP, for student accident insurance. Number 11, lease agreement between Harris County and Goose Creek CISD. Number 12, budget amendment.
Would anyone on the board like to pull any of these from the consent agenda for individual consideration?
I would like to pull item number 2.
I'm sorry?
I would like to pull item number 2.
2, okay.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve consent agenda items 1 and 3 through 12.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Laredo, a second from Ms. Coffey to approve consent agenda items 1 and 3 through 12. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Mr. Sampson.
Real quick, I just, on this communities and school.
Mr. Sampson, what number is that?
Number 3.
Number 3, thank you.
Where are we with communities and schools? You know, it kind of was there in the forefront, then all of a sudden it kind of faded.
Well, it was federally funded previously, so it had funding attached to it. Then it became something like an unfunded mandate, and the district has opted to continue to fund it at a lesser rate than it was originally funded for. But we very much endorse and support communities and schools and see them as an integral partner with our students and our families.
In fact, I was going to mention something. I wanted to see that. I was very happy to see that this memorandum of understanding of agreement with CIS, because I know that it's been severely decreased because of the economic environment, especially when it comes to programs like these. But these programs are the ones that help our kids the most, especially, in education we talk about filling in the gaps. We try to do what we can, but a lot of times we still don't hit all those gaps, and organizations like Communities in School are so imperative in touching the lives of kids that really, really do need it. And I want to thank the district, Dr. Watson, and everybody that have supported Communities in Schools.
Mr. Sampson?
Just one more, this question. The number 6, geotechnical engineering. Didn't 3 weeks ago we?
Yes, sir. We normally keep at least 2 on retainer for our services. I'll be glad to have Mr. Price, Ms. Garcia, speak on that.
Okay.
The previous one that we approved was for materials testing, and that had more to do with materials of the building, the concrete itself. Geotechnical engineering has to do with the soils,
Right.
and that testing helps determine foundations for buildings.
So that wasn't a part of the other?
No, it was a different one, yes, sir.
Okay.
So we have two companies, and one of them's Fugro and one of them's Robba Kistner, and they both do materials testing and geotechnical engineering.
So we could invert them based upon
Right.
the project, and
Based
if
on
we
our need
had
or-
more than one project going on.
Correct.
Try to keep two companies on contract so we can use one or the other.
And this is the same scenario as last time. This particular contract was in place and it expired, so we're wanting to renew it.
Okay. That's it.
Anything else? Okay. Having no further discussion, all in favor of the motion for consideration, please raise your right hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Motion passes 5-4, one absent, one abstention. Okay. All right. Consent agenda item number 2, the waivers. Ms. Coffey. Thank you, Dr. Dorff.
Do you want to tell me something about it, or do you want me to ask questions first?
If you'd like to ask questions,
Okay.
I'm ready.
What I'm concerned about is pre-K.
Okay.
I feel as though we should do all we can to offer all-day pre-K to all children, and I realize we have financial constraints that keep us from doing that. So my question is, I know we offer half-day pre-K to those who need it the very most, and I want to know when we found out that we needed to add minutes to our day.
So our PEMS department received that information through the service center in July, and it was about mid-July when they had their initial meeting with people on vacation. We finally got that notification towards the end of the month. Because the state notified districts so late in the school year, they have granted a one-year waiver for the 2016-17 school year to give districts the opportunity to prepare for the additional time required for our pre-K students, which is the 210 minutes. We currently service our students 185 minutes a day, and that's with the additional time when we extended 15 minutes to the school day. What we would need to do logistically is prepare for receiving students and still having students on the campus along with the transportation, and that's why we felt doing the waiver this year made sense so that we can logistically look at our schedules for the upcoming school year.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll work toward adding even more students along the
Dr.
way.
Duarte, is this a one-year allowance by the state?
Correct.
And they expect next year everyone will
Everybody
be in
to be
compliance.
in line.
So you have some work to do in figuring out how we're going to get 2 sessions of 210 minutes in there?
Correct.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Transportation and overlap classes. And
I move to approve consent agenda item number 2.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Coffey, a second from Mr. Laredo to approve consent agenda item number 2, the waiver for staff development, early release, and pre-K minute requirements. Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Motion passes 6 in the affirmative, 1 absent. We didn't put future board items on here. That's all right. Okay. At this time, the board will recess into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Texas Government Code Section 551071, 551072, 551073, 551074, 551075, 551076, 551082, 551083, 551084, 551087. No action will be taken while the board is in closed meeting. Open session. No action was taken on any items while the board was in closed session. Moving on to item E, On our agenda, consideration of personnel. Mr. O'Brien.
Administration recommends the approval of educational diagnostician Angela Tillman.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Coffey, a second from Ms. Cockrell to approve Ms. Tillman as educational diagnostician. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion passes 6-4, 1 absent.
Next, administration recommends licensed specialist in school psychology intern Artavia Tolliver.
I move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Ms. Coffey, a second from Mr. Sampson to approve Ms. Tolliver as the LSSP intern. Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries 6-4, 0 against, 1 absent.
Next, administration recommends school counselor at James Bowie Elementary, Erica Mares.
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Cockrell, a second from Ms. Coffey for the approval of Ms. Maris as the elementary counselor position at Bowie. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 6-4, 0, 1 absent.
And finally, administration recommends for assistant principal at Bowie Elementary School, Jaime Ornelas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion from Ms. Laredo, second from Ms. Coffey for the approval of Ms. O'Nalis as elementary assistant principal. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, please. Right hand. Motion carries 6-4, 1 absent. Any other business to bring forward by any board member? It is 7:34, and we stand adjourned.